Children, let's start with chapter number 2, India before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. Children, kindly open to your textbook page number 5. Pal in the 8th century was a famous dynasty in Bengal. In central India, the Gurjar Pratihar power spread up to Andhra Pradesh, Andhra, Kalinga, Vidarbha, West, Ketwad, Kannauj and Gujarat. So these were the powers in Bengal and parts of northern part of India. Among the Rajput dynasties in North India, the Gahadwar and the Parmar dynasties were the important ones. Among Rajputs, Prithviraj Chauhan belonging to Chauhan dynasty was a valiant king. Valiant means brave king. In the First War of Tarai, Prithviraj Chauhan had defeated Muhammad Ghori, but Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the Second War of Tarai. Rajaraj I and Rajendra I belonging to the Chola dynasty in Tamil Nadu were the eminent rulers. Eminent means important rulers. The Cholas conquered the Maldives island and Sri Lanka using their naval strength. Naval strength means navy. King Vishnuvardhan belonging to the Hoysal dynasty in Karnataka had conquered the whole of Karnataka. During the reign of Govind III of Rashtrakuta dynasty in Maharashtra, the Rashtrakud power spread from Kannauj up to Rameshwar. Later, Krishna III conquered the reign up to Allahabad. Three dynasties of the Shilaharas emerged in western Maharashtra. One dynasty ruled over Thane and Raigad in the north Konkan, the second in the south Konkan, while the third dynasty ruled over some parts of the present day Kolhapur, Satara, Sangli and Belgaum districts. So these three dynasties of Shilaharas ruled over various parts of Maharashtra. The last prosperous power before the period of Shivaji Maharaj was that of Yadavas. The capital of Bhilim V of the Yadava dynasty was at Deogiri. So what is the capital of Yadava dynasty? It is Deogiri, which is near Aurangabad. He extended his rule beyond the river Krishna. The Yadava period is considered to be the golden period of Marathi language and literature because lot of literary works were written during this period. It was this period that Manubhav Pant and the Warkari movement emerged. So, during the Yadava period, Manubhav Pant and the Warkari movement emerged during their period. Now, we shall learn about invasions from the northwest. What do you mean by invasions? Invasions means not of the same land. The people who invade India or invade some part of country. Invade means coming from other region. Now, local dynasties like the Yadavas and Rashtrakuta ruled in Maharashtra, but the invaders from the northwest conquered the local dynasties there and established their own rule. So what had happened is that the local dynasties which were ruling over in Maharashtra, they were invaded or conquered by the local dynasties or the invaders from the northwest. The people or the rulers from the northwest came to India, came to Maharashtra, and they took the dominance. In the meanwhile, the Arab powers had emerged in the Middle East. Arab rulers turned towards India to expand their empire. So there were the Arab rulers who turned their attention towards India, and they wanted to expand their rule. They wanted to make firm foot on India's supremacy. The Arab general Muhammad bin Qasim attacked the Sindh province in the 8th century. Notwithstanding the resistance of King Dahir, he conquered the province of Sindh. So he defeated the king Dahir and he conquered the province of Sindh region. Due to this campaign, the Arabs came into political contact with India for the first time. Because of this defeat, the Arabs came to Indian political system. In the period that followed, Turks, Afghans and Mughals from Central Asia came to India and established their power here. So afterwards also the rulers from Turks, Afghans and Mughals came to India, Central Asia, and they established their dominance over Central Asia. In the 11th century CE, the Turks began to invade India. So after coming and maintaining dominance over Asian region, they started invading India and they expanded their territories. They reached the northern western frontier of India. Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni invaded India many times. He came to India many times. He plundered the rich temples at Mathura. Plundered means he destroyed the rich temples which were there at Mathura, Vrindavan, Kannauj and Somnath, and carried away enormous wealth with him. Now why he had invaded India? To loot the Indian wealth. Sultanate in the north. In 1175 CE and 1178 CE, Sultan Muhammad Ghori of Ghur from Afghanistan invaded India. He appointed Qutbuddin Aibak to look after the governance of the conquered territories in India. So when Muhammad Ghori of Ghur region, which is in Afghanistan, when he came to India, he appointed a general to look after the conquered territories of India. What is his name? His name is Qutbuddin Aibak. Later, after the death of Muhammad Ghori in 1200 CE, Aibak began to rule the Indian territories under his rule independently. Aibak, who was initially a slave to Muhammad Ghori, became the ruler of Delhi. How did Aibak become the ruler of Delhi? First, he was appointed to look after the governance of the conquered territories, but because of Muhammad Ghori's death, he became independently the ruler. Aibak died in 1210 CE. Ibrahim Lodi was the last sultan. He made many enemies because of his peculiar temperament. Daulat Khan Lodi, who was the governor of Punjab invited Babur, who was the ruler of Kabul region, to fight against Ibrahim Lodi. Now this Ibrahim Lodi, who was the last sultan, he was very short-tempered, and because of that he developed many enemies. So Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, invited Babur to defeat Ibrahim Lodi. Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the battle, and thus Sultanate came to an end. Now can you tell me, why did the Sultanate came to an end? Because Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the battle, and Sultanate came to an end because Ibrahim Lodi was the last sultan. Do you know, after Qutb bin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia, Bulban, Alauddin Khilji, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Firuz Tughlaq, Ibrahim Lodi and other sultans ruled over India. The Kingdom of Vijayanagar. During the reign of Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq of Delhi, there were many revolts in south against the central power of Delhi. This means that there was discomfort between the people, and hence there were very revolts between the enemies for the power of Delhi. From these revolts arose the formidable Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom. Why did this Bahmani and Vijayanagar kingdom emerge? Because there were many revolts. Revolts means fights in the south against the central power of Delhi. Hence, Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdoms emerged. The brothers Harihar and Bukka from South India were Sardars in the service of Delhi Sultanate. Taking advantage of the instability in the south during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, they founded the kingdom Vijayanagar in the south in 1336 CE. Please mark this. When did the Vijayanagar kingdom came to be formed? In 1336 CE. Hampi, which is in today's Karnataka, was the capital of Vijayanagar kingdom, and Harihar was the first king of Vijayanagar. Mark this also. Harihar was the first king of the Vijayanagar, and Hampi, which is in today's Karnataka, was the capital of the Vijayanagar kingdom. Harihar was succeeded, which means Harihar was defeated by his brother Bukka. Bukka brought the reign up to Rameshwar under his control. Means he extended the areas of kingdom of Vijayanagar. Krishnadev Raya. Krishnadev Raya ascended the throne of Vijayanagar in 1509. So, Krishnadev Raya was a prominent king in Vijayanagar Empire. He became the king in 1509 CE. He conquered Vijayawada and Rajmahendri and annexed the regions to his kingdom. This means that he also extended the regions of Vijayanagar. He defeated the combined forces of the armies of the sultans who had united under the leadership of Bahmani Sultan Muhammad Shah. During Krishnadev Raya's reign, the kingdom of Vijayanagar extended from Cuttack in the east up to Goa in the west, and from the Raichur Doab in the north up to the Indian Ocean in the south. Krishnadev Raya died in the year 1530 CE. Krishnadev Raya was a scholar. He wrote Amukta Malya, Amuktya Malyada, which is a book. You can see the picture here. A Telugu compendium on polity. This book is written on politics. The Hazar Ram temple and the Vitthal temple were built in Vijayanagar during the reign of Krishnadev Raya. The decline of the Vijayanagar kingdom began with the death of Krishnadev Raya. When Krishnadev Raya died, the Vijayanagar kingdom came to an decline. Means it started declining. In 1565 CE, at Talikot in the present state Karnataka, there was a battle between Adil Shahi, Nizam Shahi, Qutub Shahi, Barid Shahi on one side and Vijayanagar on the other side. So you can see the revolt took place between the two powers. But on the one side there were various kings, that is Adil Shahi kingdom, Nizam Shahi kingdom, Qutub Shahi kingdom, Barid Shahi kingdom. All this kingdom came together. Why? To defeat Vijayanagar. Thereafter, the dominance of Vijayanagar came to an end. So here we will stop today. In the next class, we shall continue with the chapter.